Yeah, God bless you, man. You guys want to say anything while you're out here?
Sure.
Want to turn this way, get the lighting better up this way? Hang on one second. All right. Welcome. I'm Ben. We're live.
Jafari Jones. Oh, my bad. So I'm out here representing Black Lives Matter 757, and we just wanted to address the fear mongering that the media put out. This was going to be a big hate fest of bashing and big, huge monsters doing terrible things. And I've never been to a more polite gathering, rally in my life, honestly. And like I said, there was a lot of peace here. There was a lot of politeness. You could get past people with just a simple excuse me, people exchanging numbers, and the people aren't united. And we really hope that we showed up here when the whole blackface scandal came out and we were locked out of Capitol grounds. So we did see a common ground and the government locking the people out from speaking up. It's definitely important for the African-American community to be able to have the right to bear arms, because we have to protect ourselves from the KKK, we have to protect ourselves from the newly formed neo-Nazis, we have to protect ourselves from the police, we have to protect ourselves from rapists and murders and things of that nature as well. And if we're already over-policed and disproportionate, what are we going to have to protect ourselves other than police who always betray us anyway? So we have to definitely be able to defend ourselves and defend our families just like anybody else. I think us as African Americans do need to put more emphasis on gun control as far as how to control the gun. Getting out here to the ranges and making sure that we are teaching ourselves these survival skills in case an MP hits the United States and we don't have our internet anymore, we don't have our services, we might have to get out there in the trenches. We need to know how to be able to start a fire. We need to know how to be able to hunt and things of that nature. So we need to get more intact with some survival skills as well. So I appreciate everybody that came out here. I definitely appreciate everybody for even standing beside each other and knowing that we have more in common than we have differences. We could put an end to the Republican and Democratic Party and make a party for the people, and that would be, something that America could definitely look forward to.
You said you're with BLM?
Yeah, Black Lives Matter 757.
Okay, 757?
Yes, sir.
Nice. No, I mean that's what a lot of these things. I always try and find common ground, because there may be things that we disagree on, but on this, and I agree with you 100% on coming together, uniting on the things that we agree on, and uniting behind our Constitution, our right to bear arms. Doesn't matter what the color of your skin is, in my opinion. We should be able to stand together. And what gets me, though, is, like you said, the hypocrisy of this. We got a blackface governor who's out here talking about this being a race rally, that there's a bunch of white supremacists. I've been looking for him, because I'd be the first one to stand next to him and say, I'm not with you. I'll stand next to, what was your name again?
Jafari.
I'll stand next to Jafari all day, but I'll stand against that. And that's what the left does not want America to see this. They do not want America to see the truth.
Right.
That we'll stand together.
Right.
And they continue to divide us, and that's one of the problems. Is we just continue to be divided on race, on sex, on all these things, rather than come together as the American people.
Right, and so like I said, if you come out to stand against the governor, they're literally showing you that they will lock you out. But if you're in support of them, then you can lick their boots as much as you'll let them. We definitely have to put a dispel to that. We've had groups reach out to us, different patriot groups, 3% groups, and show them that, hey, we're not, the evil racist thing that the media is putting out there. We can't let the media control what we think. We have to be able. That's why we came, more importantly, to see for ourselves what's actually happening and not hear it from a third or fourth mouth.
Mm-hmm. Can I ask you on a separate topic? So speaking of Black Lives Matter, I'm from California, and I've seen. So there are justifications when police have done wrong and they need to be held accountable for it. Mm-hmm. But often, what I see in the black community is black on black crime, and on people that haven't been educated, poor education, split up families, things that children that are raised without a father, that teach them those skills that they need. What is BLM doing to help the inner city with those issues? Some of the fundamental kind of foundational issues that are affecting the black community.
We just want to let people know that, like I said, the times have changed. There are a lot more fathers in the homes of the children now than it was. We were disproportionate for a while, but now all of my friends, are there for their kids. So keeping in the light of that, being able to come to our community and bring things to the light. We're putting together mentoring programs for those who have lost their way. Different people
get them out of gangs and drugs.
Right, and some people, the things that's so often overlooked is the rec league football coach. the rec league basketball coach, because they're out there with these people's kids all the time, shaping and molding them too. So it's important to always have a positive light, have a positive hat on, no matter what you're doing now, even on social media. Just always be that light and that change that you want to see, and it'll trickle down. You're not going to be able to wave a wand and just fix all the problems, but if you start with changing you and you help who you can, whether it be 1 or 2 kids, if you don't have that capacity, that's fine. Some people have more financial gains that they can help. If you can donate to a worthy cause, a mentoring program, a Boys and Girls Club, just things that are set in place in the community now, and we have to vote for the funding so they fund more stuff. How many millions of dollars did they spend to secure Richmond today, which shows you they can snap their finger and have the funding?
Yeah.
So they should be able to snap the finger and get the funding, the resources, which is why the crime is high in our communities, because we don't have resources, we don't have a way out, we need money, and it's a hunt for us as well. Right, we need jobs in our community. So we have jobs in the community, we have meals and things of that nature. Didn't think you go in our community and there's a gun store, a liquor store, and a few barbershops.
Yeah,
that's about 15 jobs.
So
let me interject a little bit. So you said that you came out here to see what it was for yourself, because instead of listening to the liberal media or just the media in general saying that it's white supremacists, white nationalists showing up, you saw something completely different, right? So what are your views as far as President Trump? Because even the media would tell us that President Trump is racist. He support white supremacists. He actually showed support for this event to take place today. So what are your views about President Trump?
Well, I mean, I'm the type of person where I see what I see, and I'm not going to sit here and sell out and say that I'm a full-fledged Trump supporter. But I do like to point out when he does do good things, when he did do the thing for the HBCU. So I'm not the type of person that's just going to only turn my news media on when I see he's doing something terrible. I like to get a full scope. Would I like to see less erratic in a leader? Yes. Would I like to see more compassion when talking about, heartfelt issues, like, say, for instance, when there is a tragedy, some people die? I don't think he has that compassion, but, that may not just be him. I'm not one of those people that wouldn't be opposed to having to sit down with him, because I would want to, be able to pick his brain, see exactly where he's coming from, and then maybe see if he would be offering the resources to our community that we need. Since everybody has all this money, when they ran for campaigns, they raised millions and millions of dollars to stick their face on our TV 1,000 million times, and it's so aggravating.
Every 2 to 4 years.
Right, and then so y'all can raise this money up, and then I think the whole political race shouldn't be a money grab, because some candidates are getting in and out because they can't raise enough money. It's not, when you're trying to be president, it's not a raise the most funds award. So
let me interject a little bit, because when Obama was in office, he gave the black colleges, universities, $4 billion for their efforts. Trump did $25 billion, and the media won't even talk about it. Now, if he just wanted to outdo Obama, he could have just did $8 million and said, look, I did twice as much, but he did $25 billion. So he is trying to do as much as he can. Well, the problem is the message is not going out.
And I go back to what you said about jobs. I mean, we look at the economy now, lowest unemployment in almost every, in history, in almost every sector, black unemployment at the lowest rate ever. I think from an economics perspective, I would rather, it's a biblical thing. I'd rather teach somebody to fish than give them a fish. Right. And that's the whole thing, is President Trump is getting government out of the way by decreasing regulations and allowing people to fish. And saying just...
Can I please speak to that? Man, guys, that is a awesome... I've talked about this a lot. Y'all remember the guy, Robert Smith, that paid off the college loans for those guys and everything? I thought he did a great job. But it's the same thing with this man saying. He did a great job, but he didn't teach those guys how to fish. He basically gave them a handout. To speak to your issue with the black community, man, I had no problem with that. The problem was we need to take accountability for what we're doing. And one of the major problems in our community is we're always constantly looking outside and blaming everybody else, saying, hey, I need to fix my own home first and get that straight. I got no problem. I understand these problems exist, but like you say, keep using them as a crutch all the time, as a crutch, then we're not going to get anything done. We're just as bad as the people we can claim that are racist, people that we can claim that are bigoted or whatever like that. So you got to start doing something on your own first. You just can't keep...
I disagree with that. First of all, right?
Come in here, guys. We'll get this whole...
Put money back in the community. Money back in community. Now, I'm going to go here with that. Okay. Then when Trump came up, we're going to put up the wall. Got that. But in reality, who's taking the job? Hey, the Hispanic community took all the jobs out of the black community.
Well, let's hold that thought. Hold that thought real quick. Hold that thought.
That's what I'm saying. There's no jobs there, so therefore we don't have the skills, right? We need the skills. but the black community needs jobs within our community.
So you need training.
We need training. We need
So,
training.
but let me touch on that. The reason, so a lot of people say the wall's racist. I'm from California. I do a lot of work on the border. It's the furthest thing from it. Actually, the racism is allowing people to come into our country and take low-income jobs, and that's disproportionately affected the black community. By building that wall, it actually directly helps the black
When I was
community.
in North Carolina, when I was in school, when I was down in school studying down in North Carolina, I couldn't find a job because of the disproportionate for migration.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I got skills, but I couldn't get a job because of all the migrants.
Yep.
They were down there. I have no problem with them, but it should be a balance. Again, you got to start taking accountability. You can't keep asking for a handout all day, every day, and you don't do nothing. You got to show your work first. That's the bottom line. It's about skill. It's about what you're doing, not just giving something a handout. It's just like the minimum wage. I'm not going to give you $15 an hour because you're flipping a burger. I'm not going to do that. What comparable skill allows me to pay you $15 an hour?
Yeah.
Honestly, one of the
That same burger flipper is making these businesses billions and billions of dollars. So that skill is
now we've seen what happens. Now what happens when you raise minimum wage? As soon as you raise minimum wage, this guy got a small business. He's got to comply with that. Okay, so now he goes out of business. It happened in Seattle. It happened to a coffee shop, a pizza shop there, because this lady had to go up on a 15.
Or they fire the people and automate it.
And automate it. Exactly. I'm not knocking what you're saying. Okay, the problem I'm saying is that we gotta stop using that as just a major crutch, because this is what black people been going through this all day. But yet and still, in the 1800s, we had black millionaires. The first black slave owner was a black guy named Andrew Johnson. Okay, and he won in court, 1860. So what I'm saying is these excuses that black people make. I got no problem with that, but they need to stop making excuses.
Give us some money in the community. Give us some money.
I want to touch on that. So
give us the money, we will take back our community.
So I want to touch on that.
That's real. Give us the money, the funding, we would help. But if you don't give us the money, it's nothing we can do.
So
it's nothing we can do.
So I lived a life ago. I was a crack addict, alcoholic.
Oh, wow.
And I used to go down and buy in the hood, and I would go to places and I would see total despair and a lack of opportunity. So I'm not disagreeing with you. There are places that don't see a way out.
Yes.
And I was living in that, and I can go back to those guys and you know, there is a way out. But at the same time, when you're living in that, I don't disagree with you. When you can't see a way out, so training is part of that. Education is part of that.
Sure.
Teaching people is part of that.
Yes, sir.
But the more government gets involved, to me, is not the solution. It's more of the people, the communities working together.
It's the people, right? This right here came together, the people.
Yeah, government's not going to fix your house. You're going to fix your house.
No,
and I appreciate
But they
that.
should come fix the schools, because if you look down at the schools that we go to down there, you take a school in downtown Newport News, and then you take a school in Virginia Beach, and you see the difference in resources. You see the difference in even the diet. You see the difference in the technology that they have in these places. So of course, when they do go to college, if they make it to college, the education, you know, plane and spectrum is totally different. Like, but what you taught was acceptable. What was an A in your class compared to a school with more resources, more technology, more STEM programs, things of that nature, is going to be totally different. It's going to be in a whole different spectrum.
And on that, though, also you look at the teachers don't want to teach in those schools, but also because of liberal policies that say restorative justice and these things, we got kids punching teachers and then not getting kicked out of school. I mean, it's like we've just totally lost our mind. I agree with you. We need good schools teaching, but we need to hold kids accountable. We need to, you know, teach respect again. And that comes back to fathers.
Hold the parents. Yeah, everybody
The
say you got to
parents.
trickle
It's
it
the
down.
parents,
What's
man.
being taught at home.
That's it.
But at the
That's
same
it.
time, you got to realize sometimes these kids are getting beat or abused or things of that nature. And like I said, the thing that got me into activism in the first place, my 14-year-old cousin committed suicide due to bullying. So I would hope nobody would have to go through that. So first and foremost, I'm here to defend suicide prevention and anti-bullying. She was only 14 years old and she felt like she couldn't take this world anymore. So we definitely have to get back to, you know, the kids, and, you know, we'll sit back and forth and we can sit here and debate all our lives, but the actual kids is what's affected. The kids in these schools that have to grow up, like, they're going to play together. Mommy and daddy may be at it because they different, you know, political views, but if we put both of our kids in the sandbox, they're going to play.
Yeah.
So that's how we should all, you know, be out here.
It. Hey, let me give you this, man. I totally appreciate you guys all of you guys come together.
Thank you, brother, man.
So this is what it's about. America's Voice News, guys. It's our voice. It's everyone's voice. It's America's voice. We need to have conversations like this all over the country where we come together, and absolutely, my man, anybody and everybody's welcome.
My man.
To join the conversation. For too long, the media has been talking to us, talking at us. It's time for the American people to stand up and talk back. And that's what this is about. God bless you guys. Yes, sir. Anyone's welcome to talk.
There was something
as long as
I
you're respectful.
I couldn't remember which person said it, but they said there's no opportunity in the hood. From what I've seen, there's tons of opportunity in the hood. There just has to be the initiative to take it. Look, I grew up, I did the military for 20 years, I retired, and now I do construction with a friend. And there's so much stuff that can be done in the hood.
So I said that
through the hood.
I said that through the eyes of the people. If you're a child there living in it, if you can't see it, but there is. You just have to be able to see it.
And then one of the other gentlemen over here was talking about how, one school over here in Newport News, I think, doesn't get the same the opportunities as Virginia Beach, but that's not true. Hold on. Just because the opportunity comes onto where the student and what the parents put into it, not what the school's giving, because the schools are funded, almost the same across the board. There's Title I schools that get more funding through the state that try to help the students, but like you were saying, if the parents aren't there to help the students and guide the students to what they need, the students aren't going to get there. So they might not get the education that they need, but it's not the schools or the amount of money that the schools get, because schools don't need to be good with money. There's so much more opportunity just to be a parent of what's going on in school, not the technology that goes with it.
Let me give you a perfect example, okay? So I grew up in a suburban neighborhood, okay? However, my mother is a single parent, teacher, okay? Didn't have a lot of income, okay? I had to pay myself through college, okay? I worked 6 jobs while working and going to school full time. My mom helped out as much as she could, but I put most of my own money through college. I got a degree in industrial engineering, okay? I worked as an engineer for Delphi in Dayton, Ohio, which at the time was the tool and trade capital of the world, okay? Since then, Dayton, Ohio, Delphi has closed down all the plants. They took all the plants out of Ohio, shipped them all overseas. Okay, I was left without a job. When I got laid off, I was just got married. Okay, when I got laid off, on my way home, I seen some guys pouring concrete. Didn't want to come home and tell my wife that I just lost my job as an engineer. And I asked for a job to pour concrete. They said, what do you need? What do you know how to do? I said, I can tote a wheelbarrow. Okay? And they said, well, this job's only going to last 2 weeks. I said, okay, well, that gives me 2 weeks to find another job. Okay, so when I got home, I told my wife I got laid off from my engineering job. Okay, I could have come home with a sob story saying, there's no engineering jobs, there's nothing I can do, I can't find a job in my field, I can't do anything about my situation. But before I even got home, I had another job, toting a wheelbarrow. It wasn't an engineering job. I was making $10 an hour doing that for 2 weeks, but I made $10 an hour for 2 weeks. In the meantime, I got a job swinging a hammer as a carpenter, okay? Never been a carpenter before in my life, but I could read a tape measure. I knew how to read plans because as an engineer, I drew plans for machine parts and things like that, so I knew how to read plans, but I never swung a hammer for a living. So I worked my way up through that, and that was in Ohio, and got to the point where I was running a custom framing crew, building custom homes. Okay, I moved to Virginia. I had to move. The economy was still tanking. I moved to Virginia because I had an opportunity to come down and manage a company. I did that for 6 months, started my own company. Did that for 8 years. Economy was tanking here in Virginia. Ended up having to file bankruptcy. I went to do sales, which I'd never done professionally, sales, but ended up being doing well in sales for the company I worked at for 2 years, and I came back out on my own. And now I'm making 6 figures, owning my own company.
So you're basically saying hard work pays off.
Hard work pays off. Initiative. Initiative.
It does not matter. It does not matter your education. It does not matter.
Hang on. One at a time.
Let me bring it back. Let me bring it back. Education isn't everything, okay? It comes down to the parents teaching hard work, initiative, and that when you fail, it is not a failure of your life, it's just a transition in your life. So I'm a firm believer of education. It's not that education hasn't served me in all of my experiences, right? But I'm not an engineer right now. You know, I am a Class A contractor in the state of Virginia. I can build commercial buildings. I can do a lot of things. So the education I earned wasn't worthless, but it is not the reason why I'm at where I'm at.
And that goes back. So when I started working, let me give you one of these.
So
too, man.
I think just let me bring it home one more time.
Yeah.
So the biggest thing is understanding the opportunities that are available in America. Okay, education is a lot, but it's not the end all be all. Work ethic and understanding that being able to maneuver around failures in your life or offsets in your life is key.
Yeah.
It is not the end all be all. Education, thinking that.
What was your name, man?
Go with homeschool. Because there's a lot of children today that are being homeschooled.
That's right.
That don't have all the money, the whole income,
Right.
and all of that. And
But
they're being educated better in homeschool than they are in these public schools.
But this goes back. This goes back to kind of the whole conversation is teaching those things. So when I was young, I started working shoveling manure and digging trenches for $3 an hour.
Yeah.
And I realized if I worked hard, I could get $4 an hour. And so I worked and worked and worked, and I knew when I went to that job, I was going to be the best worker
That's right.
on that site, no matter what I was doing.
I've always told everyone I've worked around, I don't care if you're faster than me, you know more than me, I don't care. You're not going to be able to work harder than me. That is one thing that no one that has ever worked with
I'd love
me
to work with you,
could
man, 'cause
ever say is that you cannot work harder than me.
That's it.
Period.
But that goes back to all, like, we need to teach that, instill that. And I love you, man. I love, because this is where it happens in these where people, there's so much more common ground here. That's it. If we got back to that, just holding people accountable.
Yeah.
What was your name, man?
Postmaster Good.
Postmaster Goose.
Yes, sir. I'm Postmaster Good.
God bless you, Goose.
Thank you.
God bless you, man. Good to meet. And your name, sir?
Let me say Earl Lewis. But when they took the jobs out of America, when NAFTA came and Clinton took the jobs out, that was a problem.
Absolutely.
And see, that happened.
I mean,
that
you're
affected,
talking about
right?
the same thing. When we're losing those jobs overseas.
That affected everybody.
It
Okay?
tanked my
Affected
whole entire
everybody.
economy.
Yeah.
Right. It affected
So
everybody.
I'm with you there. I mean, that's why we need to put America first. America, the president of the United States should put America
But we
first.
cannot use race as
Absolutely.
a crutch.
No,
It's-
no, race
that's what I'm saying is we got to work
Education is not a
together.
crutch.
Right. But what I'm saying,
Education is not
as men in America,
It is our
we got
responsibility.
to work together.
That's right.
To work together. Because
right.
at the end of the day, if we can just somehow remove racism out of the picture and work together as Americans. Because at the end of the day, let's call a spade a spade.
Well, let me ask you a question.
One
Who's
second.
pushing the racism?
One second. Who's pushing the racism?
Yeah, who's pushing it? If we had, because if we want to address that
Race-
issue,
racism-
because it is an
racist
issue, I agree.
people.
We need to
Racist
address
people
that
are
issue. Okay, if we
not
if,
everybody.
not everyone, but if we could like put a finger on it, because I think everyone here knows exactly who's mainly pushing that issue, the racist issue, onto America. And what? It's the media. The media is doing it. Do you think it's Trump?
I'm asking.
I'll
Yeah.
employ every single one of
If-
y'all. Right? I do well now. I'll
Anyone need a
employ-
job? Anyone need a job?
Who needs a job?
Hey, right here. I love that, man.
You willing to come to Chesapeake, Virginia and work hard every day, rain, snow, or sleet?
That all.
I want to see this happen. I want to come out and film.
I'll give you my
I
phone number
love
right
that,
now.
man.
757
I mean,
anyway.
what the thing
I
about
love that, man. I love that. Yes, sir.
We got that
Back in
problem
order.
solved.
That's it.
Bottom line, if we all work together.
Yeah.
I'm originally from Virginia myself, okay? I had no clue about racism as a kid. Somebody had to tell me. So that being said, if we work together as men,
Yeah.
as men, because at the beginning, the Revolution War, it was everybody offending America.
That's right.
Right.
Right? And there was basically people, African American people, who was on the South Side, okay, as well. And we understand that. But we are down here with each other. We got to work together.
right.
We as men.
This is-
and that's real talk.
That's key.
So this is one of the things too that we need to address too. It's not just white racism. It's brown, it's black. Anyone who divides or judges somebody on the color of their skin is a racist. I mean, and this is one of those things. And I've been told this. When I see racism, somebody that looks at me doesn't like me because of the color of my skin, if they're black or brown or whatever. And I've been told, well, they can't be racist because they don't control the power structure. That lie has to be destroyed. Anybody who judges somebody on the color of their skin, we got to start saying we're people, we're men, we stand together. And I judge you on the content of your character. You know, you're a good worker, you're going to get a job, you're going to keep that job. If you're a bad worker, you're going to lose that job. It has nothing to do with the color of your skin. We got to start calling that out. And like Will said, the Democrats and the media and the people that continue, the race pimps out there who are pushing this stuff to keep us divided. I mean, that's really what it is so that we don't become friends, because they know if we unite, man, they're dead.
Well, today,
they're dead.
Well, let me tell you something. Today spoke volumes.
Amen.
Today spoke volumes.
Amen.
Because it wasn't about no black and white thing.
That's right.
About the Second Amendment.
That's right.
And when this many people show up together, right, it affects us all. And I can tell you, we was a minority, but at no time did I feel threatened. I've been up to Washington, D.C., and we went through the same thing. I did not feel threatened. So the racism, we need to just cut that out, leave that alone. Let's move forward as men. Because we looking at each other.
If we can do that?
Yes.
If we can
do
that.
Yes.
If we can do that.
I can do that.
It's
My eyes are green like yours.
squash.
I can do that. That's what I'm saying. But because we all connected.
Yeah.
We are cousins.
Yeah.
Okay? We are cousins. I grew up in a black neighborhood. My first fight, I fought 6 black guys. Hello? I had green eyes. I was different.
I'm from Dayton,
okay?
Ohio.
I was different.
Dayton,
Reality
Ohio.
check.
You know anything about from
That's
Dayton,
real.
Ohio?
That's real. So why am I going to basically make it a black and white thing? No, it's a people thing. And you know who has a problem? It's men. We as men, if we would stand up together, we wouldn't be going through this. Our kids are growing up, and they are basically balancing and working together in school. It's our responsibility as men to train them.
Not a problem.
There you go. The race is not a problem.
It's not a problem.
It's not a problem.
It's only a problem.
It's time. You know what? It's time for men to be men again.
Right.
It's time for America
Right.
and women to be women again. I mean, that's in this
You
nation.
can't be uber sensitive. If you're doing a bad job on a job, I should be able to tell you. You're doing a bad job.
Want to jump in on the conversation?
Be able to tell you.
Okay. No pressure. No pressure. Anyone that wants to.
I mean, last time I checked, nobody's mama had a selector switch on side of her belly saying, I want to be black or white or blue or green or whatever color you are. You're a damn human being in America if you're born in this country. And the President of the United States and the politicians should put any American over top anybody around any damn part of the world, because the damn taxpayers' money is what pays their salary, what pays their damn bills, what pays where they live at, not somebody across the ocean somewhere else.
What's up, guys? How you doing,
And when
man?
you don't put the people that you support or you represent over other people in other lands, then you're treasonous as hell. Is the bottom line.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. That's it. That's it. How you doing, bro? Good to see you too, man. Come over here. Come over here. You guys. I love it, man. So for you guys just joining us out there, America's Voice News. What was your name again, sir?
Earl Lewis.
Earl Lewis. And
Dave Leon.
Dave Leon.
Paul Harding.
Okay, and I really want you guys to be connected, man. That's freaking awesome, dude. Yeah. Hey, good to see you. Good to see you. God bless you. Good to see you. Were you guys here all day?
Oh, yeah, we were. Yeah.
So we're just talking about that. Do you guys see all the white supremacists out here?
Yeah. You guys are racist.
Yeah, you are. You are. I mean, obviously, because you got. Obviously, I am too, because I got this done. I'm on camera. Yeah. Undercover right now. But what do you guys think about today?
I thought it was great. I think it's great to protest. Second Amendment right is very clear, shall not be infringed. So we need to point that out. I hope the governor got the message. He needs to serve the Virginia people first instead of his party. And that's pretty much it. It was a great day.
I love it. Hang on, is that Donald Trump's signature?
Yes, it is.
Oh, you make me jealous. You make me jealous right now. Okay.
I just wanted to say that I felt very safe today, and I think it was a very peaceful protest. I'm glad that, I didn't see any protesters, but if it were...
we got actually one behind us right now.
So I just want to say, what's the point of protesting the constitutional rights that someone has? Like, you cannot infringe on other people's rights. If you should be able to protect yourself. It's your right. So I just want to say, like, I hope the governor is watching. I hope he gets the message, and I hope that Virginia people keep pushing.
I love it. I love it.
I mean, the event was great. It was amazing. I saw so many people of all different races, black people, white people, Hispanic people, Asian people. I thought this was supposed to be a white supremacist event. That's all I saw on CNN, MSNBC. That's all I saw on the fake news. And it's kind of hard to believe when We're standing right here, standing up for our God-given rights, our inalienable rights that you're not supposed to take away. We created the Constitution to ensure that the tyrannical government could not take away our rights, so they could not oppress the people. That's the whole reason that we even left Great Britain and the UK. We don't want to end up like Iran or Cuba or any of those other countries. There's a specific reason we made the Constitution. It's not for laws it's not for laws to ensure that the people can't do whatever they want. It's to ensure that the government cannot enact oppression over the people. We've seen it happen in other countries.
We've seen it here. That's why we created it. We escaped the tyranny to come here.
I mean, you can look at California. You can look at New York. They banned guns. What happened? Homicides went up. What are people doing? They're still bringing guns over there, and they're stabbing people. Yeah. What happened in London? They banned guns. They're stabbing people. They had the highest murder rate capital in the world.
Criminals don't follow gun laws.
I just think it's amazing to see so many patriots here fighting for the Second Amendment.
I'm talking about London right now.
And,
I'm talking about London, not the UK. I'm talking about London. London overwent New York.
I think it's so awesome that we get to support our Second Amendment rights, and I just believe that it's very important that we are able to defend ourselves. I think that if you believe that we live in a system that's racist and white supremacist and wants to take us over, we should maybe be able to defend ourselves. So I don't understand the protesting against that. But yeah, I'm excited. I love being able to support the president and live in a country where we can support our constitutional rights.
We're just talking about the amount of people that got.
Man, this was probably my favorite part of the day right here. You guys are awesome. It was great to meet you, Jafari. All right, Jafari, man. Ben, great to meet you, man. This was awesome. What's that?
So we'll be looking y'all.
Yeah. I'll give you my contact too. Hey, I want to get I'll give you my contact or vice.
I'm nauseatingly sick about that because
I'd love to stay in touch with you guys, so see how that goes. Anyways, Ben Bergquam, guys, we're going to wrap it up here. We're about to be live on America's Voice News or America's Voice Live in just a minute. We're live out here now. Keep standing up. Keep standing up. That guy, the one protester I've seen so far today. We have a few people out here that are infiltrated, trying to get, I saw a few leftists out there that are trying to get their sound bites for their own channels, whatever. But in general, the vast majority of people out here love this country, support the Second Amendment, and want to stand up for it. So God bless America, guys. We'll talk to you next time.